Hello, my name's Kate Dale and I work for the Yorkshire Agricultural Society. We have for a number of years come into livestock markets, gone to the machinery shows and at the Great Yorkshire Show to do health checks for our farming community. It's been a great privilege to meet an awful lot of you, just to give you a non-judgmental health MOT and have a little chat with you, and I think we've built up credibility and trust over the years, and it's always been nice to see you. We've also brought together the Fit for Farming booklet, and farming people contributed to this booklet so that it made it really farmer friendly, and we added in some good cartoons as well, and that's something that you can take away from a health check. As farming people, our nurses and network members really do understand the daily challenges that we all face on farms every day, and I don't think it makes a difference what size the farm is, what type of farming it is, the pressures are all the same, and our health really is our most important asset. We're so often operating alone. There's a lot fewer people on farms nowadays, and it can be a really lonely existence, working long hours in difficult weather conditions, not to mention all the sort of usual animal welfare, farm inspection, financial and family responsibilities, and the best of us can soon feel pretty overwhelmed. I think it's important that we all try and look after our own health. Then we're going to be better equipped to run our own businesses, and there's a definite link between physical and mental health, and if we look after ourselves physically, then hopefully that will help our mental health. We really hope that you'll find this series of video clips a helpful reminder of the messages that we would normally be delivering at our health checks. It's always been a great pleasure and privilege to meet you all. Our Yorkshire farming community is simply one of the best, and the Yorkshire Agricultural Society will continue to support, encourage and celebrate everything that we hold dear.
Hello, I am Anne Reid and I'm a nurse practitioner from Thirsk, and I am married to a farmer. You'll probably recognise me from the farmer health checks. Today, in the ongoing uncertainty around farming, I'd like to offer you some helpful tips on how to keep you and your family healthy. The first thing I'd like to talk about is alcohol. The current medical advice is to drink no more than 14 units of alcohol in a week. So what is in a unit of alcohol, and how can this easily add up? If you're drinking at home, pouring a glass of wine into one of the large glasses that we all currently use can easily be 5 or 6 units. If you're having a bottle of beer, a small bottle can typically be anything between 1.5 to 4 units depending on the strength of the beer. So rewarding yourself with a drink too often can easily see you exceeding these limits. This can then increase your risk of dependency and health issues such as liver disease and cancers. Overindulging can also put yours and others' safety at risk on the roads and on the farm, not least if you're operating machinery and working around livestock. So it's often just worth just stopping and thinking, do I really need that drink? The next thing I'd like to talk to you about is diet and some little changes that you can make to improve this. It's very easy for us to comfort eat, especially if we're bored or stressed, and we often reward ourselves with food. This then leads to weight gain. Particular foods that are high in carbohydrates and sugar tend to include things like rice, cereal, potatoes, bread, pasta. So you need to reduce the amount of helpings you have of these and the frequency. Also, you need to make sure you're having at least 5 helpings of vegetables and fruit a day. I've said vegetables and fruit because fruit tends to be high in sugar as well because it is a carbohydrate. So what is a portion of fruit or vegetables? If you use your hand, a portion of fruit, so an apple, a pear or an orange is what fits in the palm of your hand, or soft fruit. A banana should go from the tip of your finger to your wrist. Otherwise you could be having too much. Also, try to limit the amount of takeaways and microwave ready meals that you have because these tend to be high in salt and sugar. We're not saying don't have them, but just have them in moderation. I'm going to talk to you about exercise now. The current guidelines say we should be moving around for about 2.5 hours a week. This doesn't have to be done in one big lump, and there's lots of ways that you can achieve this. You don't have to go to an exercise class or the gym. A lot of farmers think they're very active, but in reality a lot of their time is spent sitting down using machinery, so it makes it quite hard for them to get the exercise in. So some easy ways to become more active include: why don't you walk around your livestock instead of driving round them? Walk more vigorously. It's really important that we try to get our heart rates up and feel slightly breathless. You could also consider a weekly swim at your nearest swimming pool. That's a good way of meeting other people as well. Going for a walk with a buddy. That encourages you to get out and about. Even at home, there's simple ways you can keep active. Try not to sit for too long. We all seize up, we get stiff, and that is not good for us. We're not designed to be sitting on the couch all night. Don't put off the jobs around the house and garden. Jobs such as mowing the lawn, digging the garden. They're all really good for trying to get your heart rate up and trying to keep those muscles moving. For those of you who aren't as mobile, things like simple chair exercises, sitting on a dining room chair, using a couple of cans of baked beans, trying to put your arms through all the motions. It keeps those muscles really toned up, and your legs. If you're sitting in the dining room chair, you can lift your legs, you can do straight leg movements. It keeps the hips from seizing up. Being active really does help maintain that muscle tone and your joint suppleness, and helps with the ageing process. It's important we talk about stress and look at ways that we can help keep this under control. We all know farming's a really stressful industry, so we need to look at ways to how to help with your stress levels. Alcohol's a really important thing to consider, especially if you're feeling stressed. People like a drink because they think it raises the mood. So people think it's a stimulant, but really alcohol is a depressant and it can make your mood worse. So just watch the amount of alcohol you're having. Exercise is another way of helping improve your mood and feeling you less stressed, because the body releases feel-good hormones when you exercise, and this can help raise your mood. Also, please talk to somebody. If you're feeling stressed, don't bottle it up. Find somebody to talk to. It will really help. A problem shared is halved, as the old saying goes. Whatever the causes of stresses and your worries, remember there are people out there that can help you. The farming charities understand what you're going through, so please contact them. There's the Addington Fund, there's RABI, the Samaritans and the Farming Community Network. They're just waiting there for you, so please contact them.
Hello there, my name's David, I'm a Samaritan, and for the last 18 months I've been working with the Yorkshire Agricultural Society in support of their rural support group. It won't surprise you, me being a Samaritan, when I say that we think talking is very important in regards to ensuring your good mental health. All creatures on this planet send out messages of communication to each other, of distress, of fear, and when they require help. Human beings, however, have learned to suppress some of those feelings, and what we know is that if you don't talk about things that are going on in your head, if you don't talk about issues, those issues can become problems. If you don't talk about problems, or if you don't resolve those problems, they can become crises. And crises lead people to places that you don't want to go to, and we don't want you to go to either. Which is why at the Samaritans we say to you, please, if you're feeling rubbish, no matter what time of night or day it is, and we know the type of hours you work, 3 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, if you're not lambing, you're ploughing, if you're not feeding, you're seeding. We're always going to be at the end of a phone for you. We work 24/7, every single day of the year. There will always be a volunteer who will pick the phone up if you need to talk to somebody. Our number 116 123 is a free phone number. We provide a totally confidential service. Nobody's going to know what you say to us. Nobody's going to hear the things that you need to say to us. Things that perhaps you can't say to those near and dear to you because you don't want to upset them or worry them. You don't want to say to your neighbours because you fear that they might look at you and say, well, you're not coping, you're useless, you're not good at what you do. We're there for that. The door is always open. If you can't phone us on 116 123, you can also get us on our email address, which is joe@samaritans.org. That's jo@samaritans.org. Or if you feel that you would rather try and solve the problems yourselves, which is what blokes tend to do, you could go to our self-help app at Samaritan Self-Help. It's a very easy, ready reckon about how you can look at your own mental health and see where you stand in regards to good mental health or not so good mental health. Our service is available to everybody, of course, but I've got a message specifically that I'd like to focus on the men out there. Men are not very good at letting anybody else know about their feelings. I know it. I'm a man. I know how difficult it is for me sometimes to say what I want to say. But the service we provide is in confidence. Nobody else is going to know what you're saying. Nobody's going to think that there is a problem with what you say. We're totally non-judgmental. We'll let you say what you need to say. We'll give you the room to explore your thoughts and help you find the options in which you can then find your solutions to your own problems. It's the most difficult thing is actually to open your mouth in the first instance and just say what you need to say. We'll be at the end of the phone for you on 116 123, and we'll give you the space to talk about those things that you want to talk about. But the most important thing is just give yourself a chance. Pick up the phone, give us a call, 116 123, and there'll be somebody there for you.
So I hope you found the hints and tips that I've discussed today really helpful. Following this, if you do have any concerns about your health, you could contact your GP surgery in a number of ways: by telephone, e-consult, text and video consultation. If you have a telephone consultation, which is a very common way for us to hold consultations now, this could be with a GP, a nurse, a physio, a physician's assistant or a pharmacist, to include several of the health professionals that we have in general practice. E-consults a lot of people like because it's a convenient time to you. You're not sitting waiting at a telephone for somebody to call you back. Text we find really handy if you need to send us some photographs that we need to diagnose something from. And video, again, really handy if you want to see somebody but you don't want to come into the surgery or you are housebound. So I hope you found this really useful today. Thank you very much for watching, and if you've got any concerns, please contact your GP practice.